Hey guys, it's Anthony. Welcome back to the channel. In today's episode, we're going to do a little car sales training in the form of Ask Anthony. Ask Anthony is one of my favorite segments where real salespeople just like yourself inbox me questions. I answer them live right on this video. It's not scripted. I didn't read them before. And a lot of the questions actually come from salespeople that I currently train and coach in the dealership. So let's dive right in. We will go to Ask Anthony. And this one is from Gigi. Gigi is one of my sales reps. Gigi asks, how would you describe your first 4 minutes of conversation with a customer you just met? How would you describe your first 4 minutes of conversation with a customer you just met? I assume that's 5 minutes, but either way, 4 or 5 minutes doesn't matter. The answer to this question is it depends, right? It depends. I'll give you an example. 2 weeks ago, salesperson tips me off that, hey, there's a customer here in the dealership looking at a cargo van, doesn't want to pay a penny over sticker. So I know this, right? Part of the process at the dealership is to check the customer in, a check-in process where a manager puts them in a computer system, in the CRM, qualifies them, needs assessment, like a very vague needs assessment, but kind of gets a feel for what they're here to accomplish. So this was already known to me during the check-in process. So I said, okay, first 5 minutes, first few minutes, I didn't really quantify a number, but I said, until the customer interrupts, I'm just going to talk about everything other than the car business. I talked about him. I talked about his business. I talked about where he was from. I wanted to build enough rapport so that when the elephant in the room was eventually spoken about, I could talk to him. I could be a straight shooter, right? I could talk to him like a friend. So I really wanted to build rapport in that moment as long as I could, as relaxing as I could. And honestly, as soon as after like 4 or 5 minutes took place of talking about everything but selling cars and buying cars, he said to me, all right, so let's get down to it. What are we going to do about this van, man? $10,000 over sticker is just crazy. So now he went from not a penny over sticker to $10,000 over sticker is being crazy. His tune changed a little bit with me because he was talking to me like a friend. So that particular situation, I chose to talk about anything but buying cars and selling cars. So that was a specific situation. There are situations where the customer may be on limited time and you have to be really efficient. That doesn't mean you speed up. When the customer tries to speed you up, you actually want to slow down, because if you speed up too, then you're both speeding up and you're just rushing through the process. If you slow down, they will match and mirror your energy a little bit and slow them down because, hey, let's face it, when they say they only have 10 minutes, chances are they have more than 10 minutes. They just don't want any BS from you. So first 5 minutes could be super efficient, super down to business if they know exactly what they're looking for. But in most cases, I act as if they want to leave that day in a brand new car. And I'll start asking honest questions that'll qualify the customer to find out what their wants and needs are, what are the important features and benefits of a vehicle to them, how I could solve their problems. In a perfect world, what they'd be looking to accomplish in a vehicle. And I kind of just go from there. So it is a touch and feel type thing. The one thing that I could say is a mistake that I made early on in my car selling career, I was really good at building rapport. I was really good at, needs assessment. I was really good at picking out a perfect vehicle. I was really good at a hood and trunk. I was really good at, test driving the vehicle with the customer and really getting them to fall in love with it. I was really good at, presenting the numbers in an articulate way and explaining everything to them and all the nuances of leasing and financing. And I was really good at everything. I just had a hard time closing deals until I realized that this entire transaction, this entire experience, rather, has to be a transaction. There has to be undertones of a transaction taking place. They're not here to make friends with me. And I'm not going to work to make friends with them. Yes. Do we want to build rapport and build a relationship? Absolutely. But unless I actually sell them a car, nothing of value took place. So just be mindful of that no matter when it is, whether it's the first 5 minutes or 25, 30, 40, an hour, 2 hours into the process, there has to be an undertone of this is a business transaction, right? So it's got to be about business for the most part. Like at the end of the day, you could tell when customers just don't want to have small talk. They don't want to, chit chat about the Phillies. Now, it's great to build common ground, but you don't want to take a half hour talking about, what your favorite sports team did the night before. That's not what they're there for. They're on a clock. They're going to time out. they only have a capacity for so much attention span. So make sure the first 5 minutes, depending on what your store's process is, if it's when you first sit down, I would just go right into the vehicle, right? I go into what about their current vehicle would they like to change? Are they looking for something bigger or smaller than what they're currently driving, right? Are they looking for a different color than what they have? So just kind of fact find, because they're there for a reason, and find out what that reason is. What about their current vehicle or current situation are they hoping to change by the time they leave today, right? And that's a great question. So if it was Gigi, I would say, Gigi, let me ask you this. Obviously, you're here today to leave with a new vehicle. I plant seeds of assumptiveness, as I call it, or assumption. Obviously, you're here today to leave with a new vehicle, right? I act as if, and I'm shaking my head, and they may shake their head too, right? So, Gigi, obviously, you're here today to leave with a new vehicle. In a perfect world, vehicle-wise, what were you looking to accomplish? Were you looking for something bigger or smaller than what you're driving now? Maybe something with a little bit better fuel economy? Do you need a third row? Are there some features that your car doesn't have that you wish it did? What about color? Getting tired of the white car? What are your top 3 favorite color choices? Top 3 favorite color choices, right? Start qualifying. At the very least, when you don't know where to go, just start qualifying the customer as to what they're looking to accomplish today in terms of their vehicle. Stay away from the finances, because if you start getting into that too soon, then your energy could be affected if you feel like the customer's expectations are out of whack. And then if you go and hit the lot to pick out vehicles, you're not going to give 150% in terms of your vehicle presentation, because in the back of your mind, on your subconscious, even if it's not consciously, subconsciously you're saying to yourself, I'm wasting my time. And then if your energy's messed up, you're not going to be able to fully give 150% to your customer, and then they're not going to be as receptive to you building value in the vehicle. And then that number they gave you when they came in as to what their budget was, which was really their first pencil to you, right? When we pencil a deal, that was their first pencil to you. They're just playing the game. That threw you off your game. That affected the way you built value or lack thereof in the vehicle. They weren't as receptive to it, and then the numbers never work out, even if they were willing to close much higher, because you weren't as enthusiastic in the process, because you let them get to you, let them throw you off your game. The whole thing kind of goes out of whack. Whatever that noise was, I don't know. That's somewhere here in my apartment, probably my fridge or dishwasher, so I apologize. But yeah, so first 5 minutes, just kind of, get to know them a little bit. You can get a feel for how much time they have or how much of a rush they're in. Build that rapport, obviously build that rapport. But if you're pressed for time, or if you feel like you have to get right down to business, it's always great to go to the vehicle and what they're looking to accomplish in terms of upgrading from their current car. Always remember, this is a business transaction. They're not there to make friends with you. Yes, it's great if you become friends. Awesome. Building rapport is a prerequisite to closing the deal, but they're there for business. You are too. Sometimes you have to remember that, because like I did early on in my car selling career, I made too good of a friend with them, and it made it really hard to ask for the money, because I was afraid they would be like, oh, okay, there's that slippery salesperson. I knew he was in there. Come on, Aunt. You're my friend, man. Stop trying to push me. Stop pushing me. I told you, I'll be back, man. So that actually turned from my weakness to my strength once I realized a couple things. One, the whole transaction has to have undertones of the whole experience, rather, has to have undertones of a business transaction. Number 2, I'm worthy. I put a lot of time in honing my craft, sharpening my tools, sharpening my skills. I'm not going to let some schmuck down the street just run into my customer after I did all the work. They walk into that dealership and he runs into a deal. F that, right? So that being said, that'll wrap it up. Gigi, hope I answered the question. First 5 minutes, get to know them. If you feel like you're being rushed, get down to business, but touch and feel. Always know it's a business transaction. You're not there to make friends. Hey, my friend, thank you for watching. And if you want to see videos just like this one, please like and subscribe to our channel. We really appreciate the love and support. And don't forget, leave some comments down below. I'm looking forward to all of your interaction and feedback, and I can't wait to bring you more videos just like this one. Thanks again. I'll talk to you soon.